This is the approach to Oppy village on the 28th of April 1917. The 13th Essex battalion were ordered to capture Oppy village. It was very heavily defended by the Germans. They'd been there since 1914, and in the wood there they were heavily fortified with machine guns, obviously, and the Siegfried line ran all the way from left to right across this landscape here. Anyway, from about this position, my grandfather Samuel, he was ordered to attack at about 4:30 in the morning. The British barrage started. Anyway, the hammers would have cut out of their trenches around about here and charged towards the German wire, which was largely uncut by the British artillery, using the battle cry of "Up the hammers! Up the hammers!" Unfortunately, the attack was not very successful, although some gains were made into the woods by the 13th Essex battalion. Sam was shot in the head, but just slightly wounded, luckily, and he was later to be evacuated. Well, here is some barbed wire, very modern of course, and the remains of some trees on the very edge of Oppy Wood, where my grandfather would hopefully have got about as far as this, but no further. The Germans were very well prepared, and they'd been holding out for a long time, and eventually the British army was beaten back with very heavy casualties. This is the right hand corner of Oppy Wood. It's all regrown now. There was absolutely nothing left but when this wood was there in 1917. The village itself was totally destroyed, but has been rebuilt on the same footprint, so it's basically the same size, as is this wood, which is identical to the wood which was there in 1917. Mind you, that's a long time ago now. This is the corner of the heavily defended German Siegfried line, which ran across from right to left, and they could see the British army approaching, and they could use their artillery and of course machine guns as they got closer to devastating effect. I'll just have a wander along the side of the wood. As I said, there were a few who made it through and into the woods, across the barbed wire fences, very heavily defended, but they were later to be driven back to where they came from. This is a corner of Oppy Wood now, where Jack Harrison won the Victoria Cross for single-handedly taking on an enemy machine gun post, which he successfully did, but was later killed, and his remains lie there in that field somewhere, never to be recovered. Quick look inside Oppy Wood. It's interestingly still nearly as heavily defended as it was back then. We've got a wire fence here all the way along, and a fairly impenetrable hedge. But it's fantastic to be on the same spot as all those brave lads.